You're watching Monty TV. I'm Jackie Karsh, sitting down now with Deborah Kilpatrick. She is the CEO at Evidation Health, a data-driven company that links real-world health and behavior measurements with traditional medical data. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
It's my pleasure.
I need to know how this all works because it sounds very exciting and very cool.
So we believe that healthcare needs a new way to measure health in everyday life.
No kidding.
Right? And the reason why this is so important is because products that are performing at a certain level in clinical trials, they never perform as well in the real world. Now this is expected and known, but the reason why is because they're disproportionate drivers of those outcomes in the real world based on how we as individuals live our lives. Did we exercise or not? Did we eat at a certain time or not? Are we adherent to our drugs or our device connected doses or not? Like, there are all these choices that we're making that we believe can be captured through data streams that are individually permissioned and controlled by patients.
How do you go about that? Are you using the data collected from wearables, from smartphones? Where are you getting all that information?
That's exactly right. So if you think about all the data that's flowing through you as an individual in your daily life, it's smartwatch data, it's connected thermostat data, it's connected device data that maybe you have a continuous glucose monitor if you're a type 1 diabetic. It's all the data that you yourself turn on or off at will. And the reality is that is reflecting how you as a patient are showing up in the world.
Those collections are not super accurate. I mean, there are some times where my smartphone logs that I've only walked a mile when I've really walked 5.
There are issues, of course, with reproducibility and consistency for any type of data. The reality is when you are looking at it continuously over days and weeks and months and years, the ability to have one interruption of data flow, have it matter becomes less, right? Because it's a scale issue. The other thing is that we're connected to people across the U.S., 2.5 million of them today, 5 million by the end of 2019, and we're connected to their data streams with their permission all the time. So you learn, or the machine learns, what good looks like for different types of sleep measurement, for different types of heart rate measurement, for different types of activity or walking measurement. And so the ability of any one data stream being disrupted or discontinuous to affect the outcome measurement becomes less.
What do you do with all this data?
So most of our work goes into very specific studies, registries, or trials for large pharmaceutical companies, large medical device companies, or even technology companies who are trying to understand how their connected devices or wearables interact with daily health. And so, said another way, we're doing clinical research and studies for them, only we're doing it outside clinic walls in the daily life of people, and, important nuance, we're paying people for participation. We're paying individuals for the use of their data, and we're reconsenting them over and over and over as needed by the industry to use that data for different purposes to answer questions.
What's your user base right now?
So our user base, from the standpoint of the number of people connected to us, that's about 2.5 million. We're doubling that in 2019, so we're in a very fast growth mode around that population. Importantly, those people are in every state in America. They are from every socioeconomic class, both men and women, multiple ethnicities, multiple levels of education. We think that this ability to get a diverse representation of the population is incredibly important. So it's not just 2.5 million people in Boston, New York, and California, and LA, right? It's people from all over the country. And we feel like we have an important role to play in the diversity and representation and inclusion in clinical research at a level and scale that have never been possible before.